The last thing you want to see when you buy a new for me at least, GT3, is the engine out of the car. In last episode, we went all in and we bought a 2008 Porsche 911 GT3. And while the car was fantastic on the road, the real test would be taking it on track. And not any track. What is the point of having a GT3 if you don't take it to the track? This is my 997 GT3. I cannot really believe what I'm saying. I heard the words coming out of my mouth, but I cannot believe it. This is Megara Circuit, the place that I learned how to drive on track, if I ever learned. I specifically want to drive the car here for the first time. Although the track is not very demanding, it's a very special track for me because I drove here for the first time my Starlet with 70 horsepower and got hooked on driving on track. So today it's gonna be a special day. I'm very curious about the car. I know that the engine screams. I know that the gearbox is a little bit tricky, but I want to feel the chassis dynamics. I want to feel this hydraulic steering that everyone raves about. And there is also a special surprise. I have like a special guest. So I think all in all, this is gonna be an epic day. Let's see how is everything gonna go. What an epic day on track. I cannot put it to words. This has been amazing. The car has been amazing. Screaming engine, the manual gearbox, trying to feel how the weight works. This is an old school 911, you know, it still has the weight in the rear, but at the same time, it's a little bit modern. You have like the proper brakes and the steering. I would say that probably it's one of the highlights of the car, especially when you understand how it gets loaded and how it works. I would love the car to be like in some more track-oriented tires. It was like on simple Continentals, I think in a Cup 2 or maybe in a Nankang Air 1, the whole car would transform. I had a blast. This time I could not even talk to the camera while driving because I really wanted to extract the maximum of the whole experience. I started the day a bit afraid, like I was almost terrified to go on track. Then slowly I felt a little bit better and a little bit better. I started pushing a little bit. I started moving the car a little bit around, no traction control, feeling the sport mode, feeling the hard mode on the dampers. I would say the car is amazing. As something that comes out of the factory like that, this is an experience that I could not imagine. And more importantly, I know that I said it in the start of the video, but like I'm in the track that I drove for the first time ever on track with a car that I dreamt for years owning. This is like my GT3. And to top everything off, I'm here with Manos, like a friend for years. He has his E36 and we even did a few laps together. I showed him a bit around. He went out and he drifted a little bit here and there. He had also, I think, a blast. Memories for a lifetime. Like the first time that I drove this car on track could not have been any better, although we are in probably the simplest track in the whole Europe, you know, like a small piece of land somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Athens, Greece. I cannot ask for one more thing, like happiest man in the world.
Little did I know that this was basically the calm before the storm.
As you can clearly see from the color of these wheels, the first shakedown of the car is complete. I actually drove the car for the first time on track at Megara Circuit, but now to fully explore a GT3, you have to come in a faster circuit. So we are at Ceres Circuit. We are, of course, at Trackspeed, the place that you come if you have a GT3 and you want to change some things. And next to me is the first modification of the car. I know that I said that I will keep the car stock, and yes, this is my plan. I do not intend to go crazy and to have like another Frankenstein car like the MX-5, but some small modifications, some OM plus modifications, we're gonna do that. So the first thing that I have here is wheels and tires. For now, we have a set of Nankang Air ones, 235 front, 305 in the rear, exactly like the stock setup. And in order to put these tires, we also have a set of wheels, but the wheels are a bit special. So the wheels are Apex wheels. We bought them from our friend Frederick at racingwheels.eu. If you know the channel, you know that I also bought my Koenigs from him, and he has this very cool Time Attack Evo. So he's like a car guy, he's one of us. And the wheels are special because Apex is an American company that's very enthusiast driven. What they basically do is they get these models, you know, especially for BMWs and for Porsches, they actually scan everything. They scan inside the wheel arches, everything, and they try to make the offset and the width that allows you to use the maximum tire without really modifying the car. So this is the max setup that you can do with 19-inch wheels in a narrow body car. I'm very excited to look at the wheels. You can have a bit of a glimpse there, but I have not really seen them. So I kind of want to open the wheels. Argyris is going to start taking the wheels off the car. And we're also going to have like a proper look. Labros is also around, so we're going to have the car on the scales and we're going to do some alignment. We're going to play a little bit inside the confines of the stock setup. You know, we're just going to see how much performance we can extract. So when I'm going out to Ceres Circuit, I can actually fully explore the car. I'm very excited. I kind of want to start opening boxes. So we cut and we continue with action. I have to be honest, the color of the wheels is not really my style, and I know that it works with the mirrors and the roll cage and whatnot, but I cannot wait to put some darker wheels on the car. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by the tires that are on these wheels. The tires are Continental Sport Contact 7. It's what you would call like a high-performance tire. It's not a bad tire for a GT3, and I never had like street tires in one of my personal cars in the last 15, 18 years, something like that. So I always used to have semi-slicks on my cars. And I did the long trip from Germany to Greece in these tires, and I almost fell in love. Like, I will not lie. Like, I drove them through highway, and they were very quiet. I drove them through like a ton of rain, and they were very good. And I said, actually, compared to Cup 2s or even like Nankang Air 1s, they were like on that part of the usability range. They were fantastic. And even on track, you know, like the first test that I did on track with the car, like at Megara, that I didn't push very hard the car, they were actually quite okay. Not even any crazy tire wear. But of course, we came here at Ceres, and I think especially the front left, the tire that you see here, like after 10, 20 fast laps, it was already showing extensive wear. And I think if I wanted, like, I could literally kill them in one day. So of course, we're going to go now for what I think is like the proper tire for a car like this. We're going to go to a real semi-slick. And that is maybe just one between step, because I have a few more thoughts. But like for now, we're going to go to Nankang Air 1s. ξέρεις, εγώ με το μουσι δεν έπρεπε να είμαι σε αυτή την απόδοση. And it's done. So the wheels and the tires are on the car. I hope you can see how big the transformation is. Like literally, the moment I saw them on the car, I knew that they are the right choice for this car. I do like dark wheels. I do like black wheels. I do like these dark gray metallic wheels. And of course, the meaty Nankang tires. Let's talk a little bit about specs. So Apex SM10s, 19 by 12 in the rear, 19 by 9 in the front, 50 offset and 65 in the rear. It's exactly the way that you basically push the wheel almost to the limit of what a narrow body 911 can actually take under its arches. So this is as wide and as aggressive of a fitment as you can do. I do believe that we can fit a bit more tire in the front, but this is not for now. For now, we're just gonna go straight from ultra high performance tires to semi-slicks, and we're basically gonna see this difference on the track. I cannot wait, so I don't want to keep speaking here next to the car. I actually want to jump in the car, drive it, and then I will tell you my feedback after I put some laps in the Nankang Air ones.
Of course, these laps never happened. When I bought the car, I asked the universe only one thing. I said, please, nothing should go catastrophically bad in the first couple of months. So you can imagine my face when the guys from Trackspeed called and they told me that the car basically had like a coolant leak and it could not be driven on track. And there was a big possibility that the engine had to come down. If you don't know your 911s, this is where things get expensive. Very expensive. And I have to thank the guys at Trackspeed for basically coming to the rescue because I considered everything, including selling the car. And it was my friend Labros, which is basically the reason why I was at Ceres. I wanted to surprise him with the car. He actually drove the car before me on track. And at the end of the drive, he actually told me this, that now looking back, I think it was very prophetic.
Μίλα. Ελπίζω όλο το 23 και τα χρόνια από εδώ και πέρα να πάνε όπως έχει πάει αυτή η απόφαση. Είναι η πρώτη σωστή απόφαση που βλέπω εδώ και κάτι.
Κοίτα, υπάρχει μονάχα μόνο μία επιλογή. Τα επόμενα 5 χρόνια πρέπει να πάνε μπουμια, βρέξει, χιονίσει. Οπότε δεν υπάρχει καμία άλλη επιλογή. Και ίσως είναι καλό να μην υπάρχει επιλογή.
So basically, with no way back, there was only one option and that was to push forward. And that is exactly what we did.
The last thing you want to see when you buy a new for me at least, GT3, is the engine out of the car. It might look scary, it might look bad, and it was not what I expected, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Normally, these engines are bulletproof, especially like in naturally aspirated form, but also like turbo. The only Achilles heel of this engine is coolant leaks. And this car, one of the reasons that I got this car is that it actually had this work done. It had the coolant hoses pinned. It's a very common problem in these cars and one that has been very well documented online, so you can actually find some information about it. However, there was one additional leak that popped. It happened to be like a very small €20 part, but it was hidden like literally under all this stuff that you see here. And of course, this cannot happen while the engine is in the car, so the whole thing had to be down. And we replaced a couple of things. We were very lucky because Sharkworks managed to send us very quickly this billet coolant hose kit that they have. There is a small cooler in there about oil and water, that everything comes together there. One of these items, I will actually grab it and show you how the thing looks. There's actually this tiny part. They cost like €20 from Porsche. They are plastic and they are hidden under everything that you see here on top of the engine. One of these was broken in my car, so that was one of the problems. There was also like another one small leak here in the top, but unfortunately this meant that the engine had to come down. However, I have to thank Trackspeed because they took care of everything. They brought the car here. They had the engine down like in one single day, and I think it's gonna go back up in one day. And we think that there is no other major issue with the car. But even if there is something, I think we're gonna work through it. I was very scared. I'm now a little bit more positive about this whole thing. I'm very excited to actually try the car here at Ceres. So we're gonna get the thing up in the car, and hopefully we resume action on track. And we see what this car can do here.
And now back, ready to check if we have a working GT3.
Sometimes in life, even in project car life, and even when the project is a GT3, things don't go exactly according to plan. So we did the brand new wheels, we did the tires, and we're here testing for what we thought would be a very easy tire test. And then things happened. The engine came out of the car, then the engine went inside the car, and you would say, okay, cool, this is more or less the end of our trouble. But not, because although that small coolant leak is now fixed, we have a new problem. So can you follow me? I will show you what happened. So, normally, when you go in your GT3, and you go and you try to use this pedal, the clutch pedal, and you put it in, I don't know how much you can see, but basically, you actually push it in and then it comes back. But this one, no, it gets stuck. So, literally, you have it there, it's stuck, so you literally have to go under with your foot and pull it. So, that could look like a huge problem. But it's not a huge problem, it's a small thing. It's a clutch slave cylinder. The only problem is it's there, on top of the gearbox, and the whole engine was out. And that is the only easy way to change that. But of course, this didn't happen. So what would a smart person do? He would wait here, and then the part would arrive from somewhere in Europe, from Germany or from the UK, I don't know. It would arrive from somewhere, he would fix the car, and then he would test it again. But not me. This is not what we are doing. Instead of actually fixing this here, we're going to start traveling for a very big journey, a big and interesting journey. And then we have the part traveling from another part of Europe. And then hopefully I will meet with a part somewhere, like somewhere in the middle of this trip. And hopefully I will be able to fix the car and arrive to my final destination. What is the final destination and why that is an important trip? You're going to see it. You're going to see it as it unfolds. But for now, I would say that the test was both successful, because there is no coolant leak anymore here, but also very unsuccessful because we don't really have a fully operational GT3. Still, I think I can limp it towards our next stop of the journey. Please follow me through this. I have a feeling it's going to be interesting.